One point during this playoffs, you made a comment about sometimes maybe you guys read your own press clippings and take it a little bit too much to heart. Now that you're up 2-1 in the series here, do some of those moments where you maybe learn those lessons come into play and, just kind of not read the press clippings?
Yeah, I think, sometimes you get too high after wins, too low after losses. I think for us now in this series, we're not thinking too much about that. It's really game by game. Very cliche to say, but that's just the way it is in the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, it's so close, but yet so far away. So you just got to take it game by game.
Brenden, sorry, right here. Steven Stamkos talked before Game 2 as far as why they weren't worried about must win because the road game being so good with this team. Why is this team so good on the road this postseason?
I'm not sure if we know exactly the one detail. If we did, we'd do it at home too. I think it could be a combination of a lot of things, but maybe when we get on the road, there maybe isn't as much focus because we can't have it on matchups, and we just go out and play. And we're a team that when we have no hesitation to our game, we're very successful, and so that could be part of it. You turn off the thinker a little bit.
For all three, did you get any sense that their defensemen were wearing down as the game wore on? And what are some of the telltale signs that you look for when you're looking at an opposing defenseman in terms of fatigue?
I don't know if they're all workhorses, so I don't know if we sense that they were getting worn down, but I think when you're getting pucks in the corners and you're winning those battles, you're winning the races to the pucks. That's a good sign for us, and I'm not sure if it happened a lot in the game, but as the game went on, we seemed to get to more pucks, and guys like Callahan that were playing real relentless in corners were winning those battles, and that's something you probably don't see against these top defensemen a lot.
Brian, last night you talked about Cedric Paquette and how even in training camp you noticed he was a bit annoying to play against. What do you remember, and what specifically about him makes him kind of an annoying, difficult guy to play with, even if it's in training camp?
Well, he gets in the way, right? He's in the right spots. He plays physical. He won't back down. And, I mean, coming into camp in September, trying to get ready for a season with a new team and start trying to feel the puck a little bit, get some confidence going, and he wouldn't let me do it. It was funny to see, because I said, who is this guy? Guess, well, that's Seti, and people told me he came up last year for a little bit, but he's, again, his attitude's unbelievable. He was sent down, he came back up, he's been a huge part of our team, and now he's scoring for us, which is huge. But the way he's been playing, he's been a huge part of this so far, and we're going to need him to keep doing that.
Brenden, over here. Just curious, as a veteran, when you watch Victor Hedman and how he's developed the past couple of seasons, are there any comparisons that come to mind, and what have you seen in his game that's gotten better the last little while?
Well, I don't have a perfect comparison, but I think he can control the pace of a game. He can get out of trouble with moving the puck with his stick or moving the puck with his feet. And I don't know if he's as smooth as Scott Niedermayer was, but he can move like him, and he's about 4 or 5 inches taller. He's a monster. Like Coop said, this is his coming out party, and I think we've got to see it and witness it for most of this season. It's just the rest of y'all are getting to see it now.
This is for Alex. Why is this team suddenly playing, or not suddenly playing, but over the course of the series, even going back to Detroit, it seems to get stronger and stronger, but now in the finals, in the second and third periods, you're playing some of your best hockey?
I don't know exactly what it was. I mean, against Chicago at home in the first 2 games, I think we came out pretty strong in the first period. I know in the first couple series, it seems like, I don't know if we were trying to get a feel for the way the game was going to go or the other team, but I don't think we came out as hard. I think in this series, though, we have had good starts. I think last night, their first game at home, they definitely had some jump, and I think we handled that well. But I think we got to be a little bit better in the first period next game.
Over here, Brian. A question I have for you is that it seems now that everybody knows what kind of team this is. You guys have been running under the radar, hadn't been getting the type of, accolades that you should have gotten these playoffs. Did that stuff, I've asked you to, I know you don't care what the media says, but did that motivate you at all of the fact, as you move along here, that you weren't getting your just due here?
I mean, we're a confident team. We've worked for everything that we've gotten so far, and I think might have been the Hockey News picked us early in the year to be where we are right now against, I think, this team that we're playing. It's that's an exciting thing early in the season. Doesn't mean anything. You got to work for what you get, and the fact that we're here now is all that really matters to us. If it was a motivating factor for some guys, maybe that's a good thing and it's worked. But we've accomplished quite a bit this year. But we're not done yet doing what we want to do, and it's a tough task. And for us to get, more notoriety, we need to accomplish some things, and that's something that we're gonna, again, whether it be in the media or amongst ourselves, we got to work for what we get, and for all of our rewards, we're going to have to work for it and earn it.
Brian, to your left. As a guy who played with Ryan Callahan for years in the past in New York, what did you see from him and the way he handled struggling early in the postseason, the appendectomy, getting pushed down the lineup? What did you see from him and how he handled all that?
His demeanor doesn't really change. He's a competitive guy, and he obviously wants to be better and contribute, but you kind of saw it with Stammer too. Whatever they're feeling and going through, because they wanted to produce goals and offense for us. They kind of internalized it. It didn't affect them as they were interacting with us. It didn't affect them as leaders. Those are important things for guys that we all look up to on this team, to make sure that they maintain that. And they were positive guys. And Callie, he's in the hospital for one of the playoff games, and for a guy like that, he doesn't come out of the lineup unless he absolutely has to. And he's come back. He's fought his way back. I think he's feeling better and better. And like Mo said, he's been relentless, and he's been huge in this series, and he's produced in this series. It's something that it's good to see for some other guys that might be struggling to put the puck in the net.
This is for Brenden and Brian. From a veteran's perspective, when you look at Coop, only his second full season in the league, what is different about him to be able to bring this team to the Stanley Cup final?
I don't. There's nothing really different or that his approach is than a lot of other coaches. You're either a guy that pushes buttons or motivates aggressively, or you do it fatherly, I guess. And he's kind of the player's coach. You want to go through the wall for him. But his X's and O's aren't much different than some of the other teams we've played in the playoffs so far. He finds a way to get a little bit more out of his guys, and he's had a lot of success.
I mean, he's good at what he does, and his resume speaks for itself. And like Mo said, he's a fun guy to play for. You want to do well for him. He puts a lot of confidence in his players, and I think he's got a great relationship with his players. He's very personable. I think we're a really tight-knit group because of it. So if there's one thing, we all feel like we're all in this together, and teams say that quite a bit, but it feels like the whole organization's in this together, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Alex, you guys have been so good at responding after goals or tough moments in this postseason. You guys scored 13 seconds after they took the lead in the third. What was on the mood on the bench before, after that, they scored the go-ahead goal? And what is it about this group that are able to kind of respond like that, and the confidence, I guess?
When we scored the goal to reply?
Yeah, when they scored the first, and then what was the mood on the bench? Then how did?
Well, I mean, we didn't have much time to even think about it. They scored within, I don't know, what was it, 10 seconds or something. But I think throughout the whole playoffs, we talk about our group being resilient. I think you think about our game 2 when we went down and we came back. So just a resilient group. But, we didn't have much time to think about it in that last game. But we're a group that really never quits. So it's just been that way the whole playoffs and throughout the year.
For Brenden, 3 games into the series now, and 3 of the greatest players in the game have combined for no goals. That's Taves, Kane, and Stamkos. Can you make sense of that?
Well, it's 2 great teams. We want to shut down their guys, and they want to shut down ours, and it's kind of fallen on the shoulders of some secondary guys. They've stepped up in a big way. I think it's just real competitive hockey. It's entertaining hockey, but we know the guys to focus on, and in that locker room too, they got some guys circled on the board, and Steven's one of those guys. So it's just 2 good teams going at it.
This is a question mainly for Brian. Last night, Paquette was talking about the fact that Coop kind of went away from the whole matchup game that you guys were doing in Tampa and just decided to let you guys sort of roll. Why do you think he did that? And do you feel that maybe his increased confidence in your line's ability and maybe Paquette's line's ability to just kind of play against everyone allows him that liberty here?
Well, we certainly want him to trust us. I think we've been in situations where we've had to do stuff like that throughout our careers. Mo and I, our line, I think a big part of that's probably being on the road, though. We need to understand that we're going to see some of their top lines because that's probably a matchup that they're going to want to do, and if we can shut them down, that's going to be a big part for us. We need to obviously be responsible defensively. That's a part of our game, my game that I've always taken pride in, and a lot's been being made of these matchups. I think as the game goes on, you'll see different things, and when penalties happen and special teams, different times in games, and different face-offs and different zones, things happen. Things change, but it's really tough. I think the main thing is being on the road. You want to keep somewhat of a rhythm, keep guys involved. It's tough to get the matchup that you want, so he probably just let us play.
My question is for any of you guys or all 3. Hockey players are known to be hard-nosed athletes. You're going to play whatever with pain. But still, Ben Bishop wrote a page of history of his own last night. It's not the first time we see that in the Stanley Cup playoff, but it's for us, for fans, for media people, it's very impressive. Is that for you guys? Is it impressive when you see a guy like him playing in pain like he did yesterday?
Was he in pain? I think everybody's playing through something right now. What impressed me was his 36 or whatever saves and the 18 I think he had in the first. Again, not many guys are 100% right now, and he's got a pretty important job for us, and he's been lights out. So it's been really, really impressive to watch.
Brenden, you've been at this a little while now, and being 2 wins from the Stanley Cup is matches as close as you've ever been. Is it tough, even at this stage of your career, to maybe quiet your mind and not think about how close you are to something you've been trying to do for a long time?
Yeah, I go back to what Killer said earlier, though. We don't want to get too high or get too low. We're a long ways away yet, and that locker room over there, there's no panic in their game right now. They've been here before. They know what it takes. So we know we got a tough road ahead of us, and I know we're not there yet. And so we got to keep plugging away here. We came here to to get a win. Last night we got one. Now we got to get greedy and try and get another one tomorrow night. That's our focus. We'll go from there.